A warm welcome to everyone. I am Sirshava Panja from class 7B of JDS School, Kalyani. Today, I am going to teach the administration of Akbar the Great. Before we go into the details of his administration, let us learn a few things about Akbar. So, first, who was Akbar? The original name of Akbar was Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar. He was the third ruler of the Mughal Empire from 1556 CE to 1605 CE. Akbar was Indian by birth, unlike many other rulers, as he was born to Hamida Banu in 1542 CE in a Rajput fort in Amarpur. He was only 13 years old when his father Humayun died in 1556 CE. Now, let us learn about the administration of Akbar. First, let's learn about the source of information. The main source of information regarding Akbar's administrative system is the Ain-e-Akbari, written by Abul Fazl. Let us learn about the features of central administration of Akbar. In Akbar's empire, the emperor was the head of the administration and his word was law. The emperor was assisted by a number of officials. These included the Wazir Diwan, Mir Bakshi, Salar and Mir Saman. The Wazir Diwan was the head of revenue and finance. Mir Bakshi was the head of military. Salar was the chief advisor in matters relating to Islam, and Mir Saman was the supervisor of the royal household. As we see that his work was law, all of the appointments, promotions and dismissal of all officials came under the authority of the emperor. The emperor held regular meetings with the senior officers and met the public to receive petitions and to listen to their problems. He met his senior officers in the Diwan-e-Khas, which means the hall of private audience, and he met the public in the Diwan-e-Aam at Fatehpur Sikri. Now, let us learn about the features of provincial administration. The empire was divided into 15 subas or provinces, and each suba or province was put under a subedar and a diwan. The subedars were in charge of military and civil matters, while the diwans were in charge of land revenue. Akbar followed a policy of checks and balances to prevent any rebellion in the provinces. Also, he prevented any rebellion in provinces by dividing the power between the Subedar and the Diwan. We see that the empire was divided into 15 subas or provinces, and those were further divided into sarkars or districts, which were again divided into parganas, which was made up of several villages. Now, let us learn about the features of revenue administration. Land was the main source of income of the Mughal Empire. Raja Todarmal was in charge of the revenue administration. His revenue reforms were known as Todarmal's wonders. The main features of Akbar's revenue administration were: land was surveyed and measured using a measuring rod known as a jari. Land was divided into good, bad, and middling. The average produce over the last 10 years was calculated, and 1/3 of the produce was the revenue, which could be paid in cash or kind. The revenue officers were instructed to treat the peasants with kindness. If the crops failed due to natural calamities, the revenue payment was cancelled. Loans were granted and could be paid back in easy installments. Here is a picture of Raja Todarmal, who was in charge of the revenue administration during Akbar's reign. Another important source of income during the Mughal Empire was trade. Both internal and external trades were facilitated by the conquest of several kingdoms in the northeast, west, and South India. Crafts and industries flourished under Akbar and imperial factories took a lead in the production. Akbar issued a gold coin known as Mohur, but silver and copper coins were also used. India traded with China, Europe, and Central Asia. The Portuguese established their trading centers on the western coast of India during Akbar's reign. Now, let us learn about the features of military administration. Akbar realized the importance of the army in establishing and maintaining and controlling the Mughal Empire. The military administration of Akbar was based on the Mansabdari system. Mansab means a rank, and the Mansabdar was the holder of a rank. Mansabs were given to both military and civil officials. Now let's learn about the Mansabdari system. The Mansab indicated the salary, status, and the number of cavalry, horses, elephants, and other things that the Mughal noble had to maintain. As we see in the central administration, the appointments, promotions, and dismissals of Mansabdars were in the hands of the emperor. Salaries were paid according to the rank. Payment was sometimes paid in the form of jagis, which is a land or property granted by a ruler. The Mansab or a rank was not hereditary. After the death of a Mansabdar, the jagir allotted to him reverted back to the king, which was granted to someone else. The granting of horses and maintaining a descriptive role of the soldiers were continued by Akbar, which was started by Alauddin Khilji. A standing army was maintained. The cavalry was the most important branch. There was also an organized artillery. The troops were supplied by the Mansabdars. Now, let's get to the summary. In the central administration, Akbar was the supreme authority. He was assisted by ministers such as the Bazar Diwan for finance, Mir Bakshi for military, Sadar for religious affairs, and Mir Saman for the royal household. Power was centralized, which ensured uniform control. In the provincial administration, the empire was divided into subas, which were equivalent to provinces, which were each headed by a subedar for military and civil purposes, and diwan for revenue. Subas were divided into sarkars and parganas for efficient governance. The revenue administration was reorganized by Raja Todarman. The land was measured using a measuring rod known as jari, and the taxes were fixed based on the average produce of the past 10 years. The land was classified according to fertility, and revenue was collected in cash or kind. In the Mansabdari system, every officer received a mansab or a rank, determining his status, salary, and number of cavalry. Overall, we can say that Akbar was an excellent administrator. He set up a centralized as well as an efficient provincial administration. Thank you.